Yo, what up? It's Aaron here, the current legal father of Aria and Phoebe Rose, and also the only father that they've ever known since the day they were born. So let me do a quick video. I'm standing here at the Chick-fil-A parking lot right outside the Daphne City Jail and the police headquarters, because funny enough, even though the judge and the JAL couldn't be bothered to put some safety procedures in place or secure communications like family talk like I've requested, seems like my ex and her family want to keep on the charade that I'm this violent individual. So they want to go visit my ex's old home here at the jail and, make that the exchange place. But hey, if she feels comfortable there, I mean, she spent more time there than me, so I mean, she should know, and the police officers have body cams, so should be pretty safe. Anyways, the reason I'm going public and the reason I'm talking so fast is because I have a mountain worth of information to share with everybody. But unfortunately, my ex, their family, and especially the judge and the GAL, they must think I'm desperate to be a father. Listen, I did not become a father for brownie points, okay? The plan was always to have children and raise them and give them a father like I never had. That was always the plan, okay? I'm not doing this because I have to or I'll get in trouble. I chose to put myself in this situation. I chose to fight as hard for my kids as I could because that's what I wanted from my father, and I didn't have it. So I made sure my children would have a father that I didn't have in my life. So what they seem to think is because I have that stance, they're misinterpreting it as, oh, he's desperate. We can just steamroll him. We can ignore everything. We can kumbaya. We can cover up mom and her family's shenanigans and outright mischaracterize his entire argument for why visitation is not a good idea and it's not safe right now without any safeguards in place. We'll just blatantly lie on him and all his filings that say contrary because he's just lucky to be a dad. He's just desperate to be here. Y'all seem to have the wrong impression of me, so I'm gonna set the record straight. I'm a father because I want to be. Not because I have to be, because I want to be. And currently, in the divorce court, even though they wanted me to object so bad, because we all know the implications of this, we're having paternity testing done because my ex, I guess figures proving I'm not the father of Phoebe, because that's the only one she wanted challenged, but I made sure it was both getting tested. Yes, apparently that was a good idea. She couldn't be smart enough to take that to her grave, but whatever, we'll handle that, and I'll actually have an argument for that too. Don't worry, I'm not even concerned about it. Point being, this entire court case, they just keep acting like I'm desperate. I'm not desperate here, all right? I've got all the cards, I've got all the aces up my sleeve, and I'm the one who's done all the work, okay? This is my party, and I'll cry if I want to. But what it's starting to feel like now is like I'm in Law-Abiding Citizen, with Jamie Foxx and Gerald Butler, back the movie in 2009, minus the car bombings and unalivings and, super secret plans to unalive my opposers and oppressors and people who've wronged me, because unfortunately, while that might be fun to fantasize about, it's a quote from the movie, don't take that the wrong way, a little dark humor, a little metaphor. The point is, my children need a father. And I'm the only father they've ever known. So if anyone thinks I'd be stupid enough to jeopardize that. But if I have legal right to walk away, 100%, because I know I'm the best father that those children will ever have. And if my ex and her family want to go fine, because, they seem to put on boyfriends like shoes, there's a new one every week. So if there's going to be stuff like that going on and they want to show that to Aria and Phoebe, and they want to kick me out of the picture and make me the bad bully guy who, just basically kept the kids alive while they were finishing their screw-ups and their legal troubles and, can barely even stand on their own as a family, much less if they try to do it by themselves like I have. Regardless of all that, if that's the kind of light that they want to show the minor children, go for it, Generational cycles don't break themselves. There's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing, and I've sacrificed what I've sacrificed because I was determined to break my generational cycle. But it's quite apparent they're not doing the same kind of work, same kind of karma. Abusers breed abusers, breed abusers. So, hopefully that's not the case, because if I do have the legal right to walk out because I'm biologically not the father and I'll have no legal or financial obligation, I'm out. Because, listen, I'm not going to stay around here like a masochist and keep being stabbed in the back and spit on and just shoved down and mistreated and ignored blatantly when I'm the one doing all the work. If you think I have the ability to walk away and separate myself from this abuse, you don't think I'm not going to take that? Because the fun thing is kind of like, the Invincible show. What's the father's name? I forget right now. But basically, there's this scene. It's like, yeah, what's another 8 years? I can always make more kids. And now I wrote the book on how to avoid red flags and manipulations. That might seem harsh or cruel, or some of y'all might be shocked that I just said something like that. But then again, you have to understand, I had to almost watch my 2-year-old daughter die in my arms the night we found out there was a brain tumor, okay? I've had to come to grips with things that most people cannot imagine, and I've done it alone. I've had financial help, I've had some physical support, but the majority of this has been done single-handedly by me. So if you had to face reality like I've had to face reality, you start to look at things a little bit differently, which is why I'm not going to be pushed around, I'm not going to be ignored, I'm not going to be shoved, and I'm not going to be a quiet little good boy, desperate dad. If they really think that's what's going to keep happening, when they just keep stepping over me and trying to sweep stuff under the rug, when I'm the injured party here and my children are suffering because of that, if they really think I'm going to continue to ignore that and be quiet about it, oh man, they're going to be using my legal filings in law school about, hey, here's not what to do. But hey, you know, not all of us, you know, have the ability to play dress up during the day and pretend to be a judge. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, and we'll see if the higher court can reprimand this lower court, because they're a lower court for a reason, because clearly if they're more qualified, things wouldn't be handled this way, and I wouldn't have to go and talk to their superiors and say, hey, get your boy, and he's not doing his job right, and children are not being protected. And even though that's their job, is to protect the minor children, I'm the only one doing it. So there we are. So stay tuned. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. I'm thinking I'm going to release Part 1 within the next 4 or 5 days, because I got to make sure it flows and it lines up with my exhibits and the chronological timeline of all the events, and then say it in a way that's less of a rant and a ramble. So, you know, it's more TikTok worthy and made for movie. I'll probably sell the movie rights one day, you know, Diaries of a Mad White Man, something like that. I'm sure Tyler Perry will pick it up, you know. We'll see. Talk to you soon.